Okay, next speaker is Juan Antonio Paz Salgado. He comes from Telefonica Research and Development. He has been during several years a technologies specialist on network management and service fulfillment, and also a project manager and architecture system for several Telefonica network management systems. And currently he works in the Lean IT initiative and IT evolution of the area of Telefonica research and development. Specifically, he's exploring a lean approach for Telefonica, application management, and the relationship between service-oriented architectures and agile development. So, thank you very much.
Hello, good morning everybody. My name is Juan Antonio Paz, and first of all I want to apologize because of my limited English. That is the reason, because I have papers here to try to read a bit and trying to do no many mistakes. I feel okay. Well, we are working in Telefonica Investigación y Desarrollo, the research and development company of Telefonica. Oh, sorry. Now you listen to me? Okay. We are working in the IT evolution innovation area. In this area, we are trying to enhance the IT of Telefonica in several aspects, from technological ones, like, for instance, exploring special hardware solution, or things like internet cloud solution, to methodology or organizational issues. Even we are exploring some specific practical solution to automation and operation, applying artificial intelligence techniques. As part of that activities, we, some colleagues and me, have been working in the initiative called Lean IT. Our main objective is to transform the IT of Telefonica into a much more agile, flexible, and efficient one. So, like the proper name said, we are trying to transform the IT of Telefonica in a Lean IT. That transformation required not only faith and courage to be able to convince the company, but some experience that give us real data, some real confirmation of the ideas we have found in the books. Well, I feel that after seeing the previous presentation, many of the issues I have here in my presentation is just a duplication. Perhaps we have to close the computer and go. That is a lean approach. But I want to try that, explain that this, what I'm going to show here is just a little experiment from us to confirm some of the ideas we have, okay? Let me show a bit, yeah, okay. Let me show, that is the schema of the IT role or in a telco company. Indeed, in many companies. Okay, that arrow, the horizontal one, expresses the real work of the company. That is the day-to-day operation, the network maintenance, the billing, or whatever work you can imagine inside the telco. For instance, the fulfillment of a customer DSL or a fiber line. That arrow, the horizontal, is the real value of the enterprise. What is more, all you do is done through the IT, but notice the IT, the important part, is the work to the day-to-day work. Okay. The IT is required to assure that that arrow, the important one, will work full-time at full speed. The other arrow, the vertical one, represents the kind of work that IT really want to do. The change of the system, and sincerely, we all need to admit that we love to develop whatever. Change the system, improve it, do it our beloved son. But remember that this is not the work that the company needs. Indeed, every activity you do in the vertical arrow is a bad idea. That arrow is not only vertical because the activity are in many cases orthogonal to the other, but because indeed that activity can really hurt the actual company processes. Even you can kill the business value doing too much activity in that arrow. So that is the reason because the correct IT and no more need to exist. Okay. But the problem is that the incumbent telcos possesses a multi-million euros infrastructure composed of specialized commercial in-house software. We have millions or even billions of legacy codes, for instance, COBOL codes. How can we lead with all this chaotic mess of software? Well, we have an advantage. That is we have in the telcos a framework, reference framework that becomes from telemanagement forum. That is based in a set of business processes that is there in the iTunes schema, and a set of specialized application that is here in the TAM application map. And even a set of data models that we can use to normalize the work in the telcos. One important thing is that all that framework maps naturally to a SOA architecture, okay? That is the reason, because we are talking about SOA, service-oriented architecture. I feel you all can know the SOA principles that they are, encapsulation, loose coupling, etc. The most important thing in a practical way is that you have some application, and that in the law. You have that set of application, each one of them exporting a little group of services. A bit in the next level, you have a known, listed, and indexed set of useful business services, public in the corporate bus. And finally, you have a layer of orchestration that binds services into a business's processes. Okay, is that layer the orchestration layer that indeed generates the value of the company and the work to the day-to-day work. Well, if you read about the advantage and disadvantage of SOA, you can say that well, there is a lot of apps. Like you can reuse, you can take a lot of commercial products, etc. Indeed, we, with the telemanagement forum framework, really we can talk the same idiom with the software providers. But there is a lot of papers saying that we have very difficult task into do the business processes indeed, because there is a very complex system, a lot of expensive development, very long cycles. Well, indeed, probably the problems are not because of SOA, but because of the problem itself. The telco problem is too complex, and perhaps because the reuse and the standardization have gone farther than we really need. In the other hand, well, in the other arrow, the vertical one, Agile is the mean mapping of lean and software development. But the problem is, well, there is a lot of advantage about taking Agile, and you all know that. But the problem is, it's really a good idea to have a so Agile process in the vertical arrow that is so dangerous because it can kill the process of the company. Well, thinking about that questions, we have found that trying to put together the two things, the SOA approach and the Agile software development, Agile is a methodology and SOA is an architecture, so should be compatible, okay? But we haven't found any reference to do that proper. The problem, which is the problem? Is it just cultural? There is no way to do it? Or what's the problem? We have asked around in our environment, and we have found two possible very distant answers. Some people say that it's impossible to mix these two things, and there is a lot of people that think that it is not a problem at all. Just for final slide on, that's exactly, okay? That is a real example of a process of definition of processes in a real project. That is the cigarettes one. You can see that there is a lot of different way in which need of change become into the team that do processes, and there is a lot of steps that require verification, design, etc., from the need to the real development. Okay, this look too much waterfall, too much complex to us. Oops. Okay. Well, that is why we start the experiment, and what we try to do. We try to answer this question. Are there any problems to solve indeed? Some people say to us, use Agile, there is no problem at all. Is there a problem? Are there any easy solution to the problem? That solution, a particular solution, depends on the scenario, or a general solution. Another objective we have was the creation of an open source based kit. We want to give a kit based on open source solutions to do a fast agile integration of an enterprise bus. And we want to do that two things, considering not a so complex problem, a real problem, but a bit strained enough situation, using three different things. One of them, the use of some open APIs. Open APIs is like the try of the telco to give their services to the external internet development developers. We want to use some internet services from a popular provider on internet. And we want to try some internal resources like service delivery platform. What was the scenario to use? We tried to do a service that provide to an unbanked customer to acquire Amazon product paying through their Movistar prepaid account. That's our objective in the fake project in which we are trying to prove if there is any problem with SOA and Agile at the same time. Okay. Well, that was our own internal user histories indeed, okay? We want to do a portal named Lead Shop that show to the users the Amazon catalog of products. The users can be able to add items to the lead card that indeed was an Amazon card, not a special developed from us. When the customer have enough product in the car, enter her mobile phone number, and she or he receive a message asking for authorization. Can answer with another message doing the authorization, and if the users do that, they receive another message giving a gift card code that can be used in Amazon to take the products. Okay, we try another alternative like buying directly a gift card from Amazon, or try to integrate the whole thing in a Amazon web store, but these two approaches don't work very well. Well, more or less that is the architecture we have. Here in the middle we have enterprise service bus, in our case the JBoss. And in the up part of the graphic we have seen the Leap Shop portal that was related, was done by normal web, the GSP. And in the front end we're using two services from Amazon. One of them is for use the shopping cart, and the other was to take the list of the product of Amazon's. In the back end, we have the BPM that do the whole workflow, and three different services. One of them was the message interface from Open Mobile Forum. Another was the internal resources, that is the service delivery billing interface. That was for charging the cost of the product of Amazon into the prepaid mobile. And finally, we use the one services of Amazon to buy the gift cards. The problem was that that app is indeed doesn't exist. So we need to do that through web scraping. That is not a very good idea. That was very bad. The final workflow was something like this. It's a bit ugly, but we want to put that because it was the real result. One important thing is that floating nodes. That floating nodes for testing. We put that task that were manual task. So you can change the real nodes to the fake nodes to test some part of the flow in an easy way. Okay. At the same time we are doing this development, we are trying to to answer the question we do. That is a very short scheme of the meta methodology. Well, the problem is we have very little time, okay? So we need to obtain the conclusion at the same time of the software development. which was really confusing, okay? Finally, we choose to talk a bit every day about the process, just after the normal Scrum daily meeting. So day to day, we talk one to another and say which are the problem, which are the possible solution of the problem, and write down all that answers into our floating methodology, okay? The idea was, in the same time you do the development, you will get a modification of the initial methodology more accurate to the SOA integration problem. That is just an example. The question we do were posted on the wall for public discussion. The base methodology modification were posted on the wall too. And all the problems in a day-to-day approach were detected and improved, and a improvement do. Well, that is more important. That was the question we do. The yellow one were the start, were there from the start of the project. The orange were the ones that emerged along the project and still were relevant in the end. As you can see, they are in the part of people. We have some question about specialization. On the side of technology, we have a lot of architecture and data question. You can see that we are asking if architecture is necessary or not. That's one of the previous presentation issues. And we asking about if we need a very fixed structure of data or not. There is some question about simulators, because on the test-driven development, many authors insist that you don't try to do TDD in system integration, but what we need to do is precisely the integration. So what kind of mock-ups or whatever we do need. In the process part, that's a big one, we have a lot of different questions about which will be the user history in the case of SOA integration, how the process business and technical one will be defined, which kind of demo can we do? Okay. I feel that last one, the demo one, is one of the most hard one, because an integration is very difficult to show, and it's very difficult to split in different tasks that can be shown in a pretty useful way. Well, what was the results of the experiment? Okay, we use external manager like product owner. We do the iteration during a month, more or less. We use an Excel like spreadsheet. And we use wiki like a way to support the information we take. As you say, more or less we do the project in a regular way. And here is the answers we take. About the architecture, we found that in most integration, the architecture is an initial precondition. It's fixed by the selection of the framework, and do you need to be aware of it? And many of the detail will emerge during the development itself. But at the same time, it's really important to use standard patterns along the integration. That means every service you need to integrate into the enterprise service bus can be integrated in a very different way. And if each team member or each group do that thing in a different way, it's almost impossible to fit all that together. So you have to select from the possibilities of the framework, which one are you using every time? Okay, you can do 2 or 3 patterns, but you need to fix the pattern. In the case of the simulator, we still think that the integration mockups for the whole company even, or simulation for special services could be really useful, but we don't found very essential. As I said before, but we use a fake step floating in the workflow to obtain that capacity. Okay. We discovered that we can think about 2 kinds of systems to be integrated. One is what we call interface-like, that have a very clear behavior, and they are very easy to simulate. And there is other kind of system with very kind of different behaviors because of the state that are very hard to simulate. An important conclusion was the data. The flowing data through the workflow need to be very coherent, and this is the most important thing I feel to get agile integration of the whole solution. For instance, one valid approach is that the data inside the flow will be like an order. Order is like a very big data container with all the information you will need in different services. That is important, but we feel that it's even more important that there exists a consensus into the team for a clear and public data use. In the aspect of people, in the part of the people line, we have found some initial data planning and generic architecture issues, but apart from that, we feel that it's not necessary at all any kind of pipelines. Okay. In the part of specialization, we found that partial specialization is almost impossible to avoid, but because we have very little time and we have some lacks of knowledge about the integration process and the framework itself. At the final of the experience, we have knowledge enough to be able to interchange the task. Okay. We feel that you need to know the framework of integration, the enterprise service bus, as well as you need to know the program language. And the process responses, well, the backlog content and so on was really clear. In the product backlog, we feel that need to be whole processes or processes part that were feature enough important to be shown, to become into a demo. In the sprint balance will be separate tasks related with steps inside of the process. The business process need to be defined by the product owner or the customer, and technical process will be defined by the team, but it should be public. We don't found that the process and the integration need to be a special task. There's another task in the backlog. We don't find indeed real variability in the task duration. Indeed, the doubts we have was about the knowledge in the integration framework. In the case of interfaces, all the interfaces problem was subsumed, was inside of the data model problem indeed. The demo still is a very difficult thing because if you haven't full process in like a user history, is almost impossible to show any useful to the client, to the customer. So you need enough time of iteration to be able to do a full process. So we think a long sprint is a good idea, perhaps 4 weeks or whatever. Well, the orange one was a question that emerged during the development. For instance, we are trying to answer if we need a development environment completely standardized or not, and we found that indeed we need a completely homogeneous environment, because very little difference into a plugin from one developer to another increase a lot the misunderstanding through the team. Using the fake step, we are able to do parallel integration test with no problem. But we haven't able to do continuous integration in a real way. We don't have Hudson or whatever to do the whole compilation, integration, and test in only click. That one was one of the most relevant results. That is the data, the model data that flow along the workflow was the real important thing. So we feel we need even a different part of the sprint planning in Scrum methodology. Okay, that was we have the list of processes. That's the different kind of user history, but in our case of integration, there are processes. During the first part of the sprint planning, we talked with the customer, with the product owner, and draw a simple flow to be integrated. During the second part, we try to include all the exceptions, difficult cases, and so on. And finally, we do another third part of the sprint planning, in which we try to fix the data model that the flow will carry. That's just some photographs from the process. That's very ugly, okay? That is from the meeting with the customer, the result of the existing component, and which will be do each of one. That is the result of the second part, in which we transfer the requirements from the customer into the initial workflow. We select all the components of the element, which will be the backend function, and so on. The result was something like this. And finally, we have data mapping meeting, in which we finish the flow. That's in black. Okay. We put the data exchange the data flow that's in green. Okay, and finally, in that meeting, we do the list of the real tasks that were needed. That is a comparison between the previous slide of the methodology, the real methodology from the Sigres, have a lot of steps and different cases, and overlap. There is the final map of the methodology for integration that we found along the experience. And nothing more. Questions?
Have a question?
Good morning, I'm Agustin Yagüe from Technical University of Madrid. How many Lean practices are now applying you in this SOA and Agile integration project? Or maybe XP practices? Thank you.
We are doing Scrum with management, okay? We do a bit of TDD, but not in the whole in the whole code. Not many more. Perhaps Javier remember any other?
Well, some bits of pair. Yeah, we did some bits of pair programming in some parts of the
Sure.
code, but it was not so key. We were more in the Scrum part of the management and took Scrum as the reference as the base methodology on which we modulated it, added parts. We changed some of them. Regarding XP, as it is so well, we took some parts, some of pair programming for the difficult parts, but we found that most of them were quite tactical for development situations and not for integration situations, which are not coding extensive. We don't have lots of coding there. We have more of just trying and configuring systems. Yeah.
A second question. After applying these techniques from XP and so on, did you get some improvement from your own development process, or did you get not this improvement? Did you get some?
Well, regarding the process, we came from a waterfall process. The usual times we have with that waterfall process, and this is a standard accepted by the industry, is 1 year. The normal time to market in an integration in Telco is between 6 months and 1 year. But if I say 6 months, everybody will say that I'm lying. So we did this integration in 1 month. We had previous experience with waterfall integrations and more simple integrations. We had been trying in the previous months to apply Scrum to some integration projects, but we wanted to take it to the extreme, to apply the full Scrum book and see the results. Well, from 1 month to 1 year, the difference is huge. Of course, this was a fake. And we will have when we take this to a company situation, we will have organizative issues that will difficult all the process. So we think that there will be real and very effective gains in time, but of course they will not be of 11 months. We can count with I mean, if we take this to the Telefonica, to a real project, to a 6 million euro projects, and we take it in, we do one process, the first process, we deploy in 3 months, it will be an absolute success. And we think it will be feasible.
More questions? Okay, thank you very much.